What the fuck is up, guys? My name's Lucy. It's been a while since I made my last video. Can't even remember what that was. So I've been busy with college and sleeping and, you know, catching up on stuff that I've missed. So today I'm going to be talking about haunted experiences I've kind of had in my life, things that have spooked me out a little bit, and just paranormal happenings. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to subscribe and do all that, then you go ahead. But yeah, enjoy. So my spooky happening number one, it's got to be when I was in Cornwall on holiday. I think it was a year or maybe 2 years ago. I went to this place called Bodmin Jail. If you don't live in the UK or you don't have any clue what that is, it's sort of a jail. I'll put a picture here. It's a jail that people used to go to a few hundred years back, and they used to do executions, and just it's kind of spooky. I went there to visit, and you get to look around. If anyone goes to Cornwall, I highly recommend it. It's pretty good. So yeah, and I went there with my dad and his girlfriend, and I was wearing shorts at the time, and I was stood in this room away from everyone else, just looking at this display, and it was all dark, and the display had, you know, fluorescent lights beaming onto it. The whole room was dark, and I was just stood there just reading what the information said, and I felt it sounds so dumb, but like I felt like a hand go across my leg, and I turned around because I thought it was my dad, and I was like, "Dad, what are you doing, mate?" And it wasn't my dad, and no one else was in there, so that really spooked me out a bit. But when you're actually in the jail, Bodmin Jail, it has that feel to it. You walk in there and it's suddenly so cold, and it's freaky. Everything's kind of not really being touched much. I know they repainted the places like sometime, I don't know when, like last year, but it still has that old feel. It has displays of sort of graffiti that prisoners had, you know, engraved words into, and it's just kind of freaky. It's got the whole room outside where they used to hang people. It's not nice, but it's very interesting. So if you're in Cornwall, I recommend that. This video is not an advertisement, but I just thought that was freaky. So number two of the spooky experiences must be when I was home alone once. This was at my old house, and I used to sleep in this room that had the loft, the attic, sort of, you know, that door bit that slides open in the roof, and that was in there, and we'd just sort of hear, like, in the room, it was the back room of the house, and it was really dark. There was a big bank of flowers, you know, just like dead flowers and stuff, and it was always dark in that room, just outside the window. And so we were all in there one day, me, my sister, and my nephew, I think it was, I can't remember. And we just heard like this creaking coming from the loft, and we hadn't been in the loft since we moved in there, so we just thought, you know, it's probably like a mouse or something. We'll give it the benefit of the doubt. But then as time went on, we just kept hearing more and more noises coming from in there. So eventually we got quite spooked out, and it was my sister's bedroom at the time. So she refused to, we all just refused to like go in there alone. So one day me and my friend, we decided, right, while my mum's at work, we're going to go into the loft and see what the fuck is in there. We didn't know what it could be, so we made a day of it, sort of, while my mum was at work, which was not good. We got these ladders and we decided to climb in there. But when we got up there was nothing really much up there. But the creepiest part was We got there, there was a massive wasp's nest, but that isn't creepy at all, but yeah, I didn't want to poke that. But so we got up, it's really hard to explain, I'm sorry. Got up there and just like found this pile of books. So we went over to it and it had all, you know, all dust, like it got in my throat and stuff. I couldn't stop coughing. And we went over to the books and there was literally a pile of these really old occult books and like, you know, just like paranormal books, and that freaked us the shit out because we were just like, shit. Okay, story number 3. This is what I was going to say at the end of the last one, but story number 3, we moved house into my old house in the August of 2010, I think it was. And when we went to look around the house, I went with my mum and we sort of like looked around the back first, and we found a voodoo doll in the back garden, just hung up with all these pins in, and that was really weird. So then we went to have a proper look around all the house and all the bedrooms, and you know, just like, this was the day, a couple of weeks before we moved in. And so we went upstairs into what was my old room, and we were all just like, you know, just walking around, and near the cupboard, like there's a built-in wardrobe there, but on the floor outside that, there was a devil drawn on the floor, and that was really weird, and that creeped me out a bit because, I don't know, the house, it was a great house, I miss it, but it had a creepy feel to it, like you'd always be hearing something, you wouldn't see anything necessarily, maybe out the corner of your eye, but it had that feel to it, you know, where if you're home alone, you feel like someone's watching you. I don't know if anyone else feels like that. Let me know in the comments if anyone else feels that way, because I get spooked out by things like that. Like, yeah, so we all found these voodoo dolls and devils and just weird stuff drawn on the floor. But when we moved in, they had put carpets over it, so it must be creepy if someone's thinking about redesigning that house. If they lift up the carpet over there, they'll find this devil drawn on the floor. But it was a weird house from the moment we moved in. That was pretty weird. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. It was really lame and I didn't really know what to talk about, but I just wanted to make a video because I was in the mood and I fucking love Halloween, so I bought these pimped out lights and did this costume and stuff. Yeah, I just felt like making a video because I haven't posted in a while. Me and my girlfriend were going to do a video last weekend of carving pumpkins, and that would be funny, but there weren't any pumpkins anywhere, so that idea was out the window. I could do that maybe next weekend because we still have a few days until Halloween. But I hope you guys, if I don't see you by Halloween, I hope you all have a fucking great Halloween. Go be spoopy. Get a spoopy mask. Don't scare old people. That's really mean. No, I'm joking, but no, don't do that. Yeah, just go trick-or-treating or something. Just have a good time. If you're having a night in with your family, have a good night, and I will see you sometime. Love you guys. Goodbye. Creepers, creepers, where'd you get those creepers?